Good morning, myself Vikram, and our topic is AC and DC performance of polymeric housing materials for HV outdoor insulators. And the paper of these authors are Moreno and R.S. Gorur. These are our group mates Venkatesh and others. And next, coming to the contents. Contents are introduction, experiment details, which consist of test equipment and test conditions, evaluation of tracking and erosion resistance, and results and conclusion. And next is the introduction. This paper deals with the investigation on performance of several polymer outdoor insulator under AC and DC electrical stresses. Here the performance is evaluated in terms of the charge accumulation and decay characteristics as a function of humidity and the tracking and erosion resistance. So as we know that the degrading process in polymeric material is mainly due to the corona discharge, use of corona rings significantly reduces the effect of corona, but not fully. Even if availability of new materials with enhanced electrical properties are there, however, as long as the insulator is subjected to the high voltage, the influence of corona on mechanisms of degradation of dielectric material cannot be completely eliminated. Until now, only few efforts have been made to identify whether degradation observed at energized end of a polymeric insulator is due to the effect of corona influencing the degradation process. And on polymers having intrinsic highly hydrophobic properties such as EPDM and silicon rubber, deposition of surface charge has been identified as a factor leading to the temporary loss of hydrophobicity. And it is also well known fact that the exposure of dielectric surface to corona gives rise to the space charge, and the rate at which the space charge accumulate within the polymer depends on type and magnitude of applied electrical supply, and this defines the extent to which corona discharges may provoke the degradation of polymer physical and electrochemical properties. According to the reports, the average lifetime of polymer insulator used in a DC system is expected to be shorter in comparison to that of a AC insulator, and that will be explained in the upcoming slide. And next, coming to the test equipment, figure 1 shows the test cell where corona charging of the samples were carried out. It consisted of point to plane electrode arrangement, and electrode configuration is shown in figure 2 in the next slide. The rounded tip of point electrode has a radius of 0.2 mm, and during charging time the corona current was monitored with CRO using an RC impedance as voltage transducer. After corona charging, the samples were exposed to the sensing head of the probe by rotating the grounded turntable, and the field probe was connected to a high input impedance electrometer, and this output signal was then transmitted to the plotter in order to record the surface potential magnitude and its profile. And for charge decay measurements under high humidity conditions, fog was generated with an electric heater and kept in test cell at end of corona charging. And then coming to tracking and erosion resistance, it was evaluated in inclined plane test setup, which is known as IPT setup. For DC evaluation, single phase off cycle diode rectifier was assembled and connected to the output of transformer from 0 to 7.5 kV, which is rated for 5 kVA, to supply DC power, and then even 2 microfarad smoothing capacitor was connected for filtering purpose. With this all above parameters, the voltage drop not higher than 10% is expected for a current of 100 milliamps flowing through the high voltage circuit. Coming to the samples, there are three types, namely HTV, SIR, EVA and epoxy resin. HTV is high temperature vulcanized, SIR is silicon, rubber, EVA and epoxy resin were evaluated, and the description is given in table as shown. And in this The samples are mixed with filler, that is ATH. ATH is also known as alumina trihydrate, for improving their tracking and erosion resistance, and it is also said to be flame resistant in nature.
Hello everyone, my name is Venkatesh. My USN is 1MS17EE065. Now I am going to explain about the test conditions. The test conditions for corona charging experiment are: the AC and DC corona charging of the samples was performed at room temperature, that is 20 to 25 degrees Celsius. The DC voltage of both polarities was employed. A constant test voltage of 7.2 kV and corona charging time of 3 hours were adopted. The distance between the point electrode and the sample surface was same for all samples. After exposure to corona, surface charge decay measurement were performed on the samples under both low humidity and high humidity conditions. The measuring process continued until no appreciable charge magnitudes were detected. Correlation with expected field corona conditions. As an initial approach to comparative estimation, the degree of influence of corona-related process on insulators operating under actual service conditions, an additional test setup was arranged. This consisted in exposing the EPDM housing of an actual 15 kV class non-ceramic suspension insulator to impinging corona, and characterizing the PD and frequency with application of both AC and DC high voltage. To facilitate corona generation, a copper wire of approximately 0.2 mm was attached to the energized metal fitting of the insulator, which is shown in the figure 4. With this electrode configuration, the corona discharge path was simulated by copper conductor whose tip was situated 1 mm away from the weathershed bottom surface. High voltage was applied and increased at a steady rate until the first partial discharge were visually registered in an oscilloscope. This voltage was recorded as corona inception voltage. The applied voltage was then further increased several times above the corona inception voltage. In the figure 5, the behavior of PD magnitude with respect to the value of test voltage shows a varying trends, strongly depending on the type of voltage applied. The lowest CIV was detected with the application of negative polarity DC voltage, followed by positive polarity DC voltage and AC voltage respectively. From the figure 6, it can be observed that for both AC and negative polarity DC corona, the PD frequency follows an increasing trend as a function of test voltage. On the contrary, the PD frequency registered for positive polarity DC corona remains constant at a repetition rate of 60 Hz. Based on the results obtained from this simplistic approach to this issue, one would expect the influence of negative polarity DC corona to be the strongest among the three cases considered. Tracking and erosion DC evaluation. Two different test methods were employed during DC evaluation. In the first method, these samples were artificially polluted by immersion in a slurry containing kaolin as a non-soluble contaminant. After pollutant deposition, the samples were left to dry out for 24 hours, then tested. Several non-soluble deposit density levels were adopted, ranging from 0.35 to 10 mg per centimeter square, which is consistent with those previously predefined during AC evaluation. The applied test voltage was constant at 2.5 kV DC of positive polarity. Only positive polarity was used since it has been reported that more considerable damage is provoked as compared to the negative polarity. A test duration of less than 8 hours was defined, except for those samples that failed before the prescribed time. In the method 2, samples were artificially polluted by immersion in a slurry containing a mixture of NaCl as a soluble material. The non-soluble fraction was provided by proper amount of kaolin. Two levels of test voltage and equivalent salt deposit density were adopted. Three different values of NSDD are selected. As in the test of HTV, SIR and EVA samples, The applied voltage was of positive polarity and maintained constant along the entire test duration. The maximum duration of the test was defined as 8 hours. The general test conditions employed for both methods are summarized in the figure. Failure of samples was assumed when either tracking paths of at least 25 mm in length were developed on the surface or erosion progressed up to 3 mm in depth through the sample volume. Results from corona charging experiments. The results from surface charge decay measurements under low humidity conditions are summarized in figure for relative humidity of 19% and 35% respectively. From these results, several features can be highlighted. Significantly higher magnitude of surface charge were registered after treatment of samples with DC corona as compared to the AC case. Slightly higher initial magnitude of surface charge density were recorded in samples exposed to positive polarity DC corona at 19% RH with respect to those measured at 35% RH. Based on the discharge characteristics of both AC and DC corona, it can be said that in the AC case, surface charge buildup is due to injection mechanism, whereas charge buildup due to dipole orientation is believed to be have occupied in samples exposed to DC corona. High frequency electrical discharges of streamer type were observed with AC voltage application. Pulsar glow type corona was observed on DC energized setup. Slightly longer charge decay times were identified in measurements made up at lowest humidity level. For both RH values, longer decay times were observed on samples charged with AC and positive polarity DC. This trend can be identified easily in HTV, SIR, and EVA samples. Nevertheless, under these humidity conditions, the longest decay time corresponded to epoxy resin compound, which may be attributed to the more polar nature of the polymer as compared to HTV, SIR, rubber, and EVA.
Hello, myself Adarsh Naik. Well, I will be explaining about the test results based on tracking and erosion resistance evaluation on HTV, SIR and EVA samples, epoxy resins, followed by results and conclusions. Okay, well, the HTV SIR stands for high voltage, high temperature vulcanized silicon rubber insulators, and EVA stands for ethanol vinyl acetate. The results obtained from the DC test of the HTV SIR and EVA samples are shown graphically in figures 10A and 10B respectively. For comparison purposes, the results obtained previously from the AC evaluation of these polymers are also included in figures 11A and 11B. As observed in figure 11A, during the AC evaluation of the HTV SIR samples, failures were observed only at very high pollution and conductivity levels. As also illustrated in figures 11A, these pollution levels are far higher than the most frequently found during actual field operating. Nevertheless, DC stressing of the samples under the same pollution conditions as those used in the AC evaluation resulted in a much poor electrical performance of the polymers, which is evident from the results presented in figures 10A and 10B. Sample failures occurred only at high pollution levels but also under pollution conditions like to be found in a large number of locations worldwide. This is a major practical importance since failure of these polymers would be anticipated in electrical stresses in a range close to that commonly used for non-ceramic outdoor insulating devices were selected for DC applications. Next will be epoxy resin samples. Results obtained from the AC evaluation of the epoxy resin samples clearly demonstrated the outstanding electrical performance of these polymeric castings when exposed to pollution and high field stresses. No failure was observed during the AC testing program at two differently test voltage levels, that is 1.8 and 2.4 kilovolts. On the other hand, the DC evaluation of these samples yielded somewhat different results. In figures 12A and 12B, the results obtained from the AC evaluation of the epoxy resin samples for the test voltage values of 1.8 and 2.4 kilovolts DC respectively are illustrated graphically. As observed in figure 12A, no failures were recorded when test voltage of 1.8 kV was applied to the samples even for the highest pollution level. Only slight tracks of the rust deposit were observed on the sample surface at the end of the test period. This deposit seemed to be due to electrolytic corrosion of the stainless steel HV electrode used in the test setup. Electrolytic corrosion of the HV electrode consistently occurred. A more critical situation was experienced when higher test voltage to 2.5 kV DC were applied to the test specimens. When a test voltage of 2.4 kV DC was applied to the test arrangement, sample failures were observed at certain pollution conditions. The result of this test series are that the failures were observed fall within the range of values commonly found in several sites worldwide. This may not be considered as levels commonly found in the field except for those locations nearby the sea coast. However, precautions should be taken if use of the epoxy compound was made for DC application. The next part will be the result. In this paper, electrical performance of several polymeric systems have been presented. Charging of dielectric surfaces exposed to AC and DC corona has been verified experimentally, and it was observed that even under high humidity conditions, the lifetime of corona implanted positive DC charge is longer than that of AC and the negative DC charge. Application of positive polarity DC stresses resulted in a substantial decrease in the electrical performance of the polymer samples evaluated on a modified version of the IP. IP means inclined plane as compared to the AC case. Next will be conclusion. On the basis of the above result, it is clear that the true evaluation of these insulating materials like to be used in the DC systems must be conducted taking into consideration the increased stressing to which the dielectric will be subjected. In this case, availability of the standardized test methods become an important matter. The modified IPT test setup was proposed in this study has proven useful for DC evaluation of polymeric insulation.